So if I F it up, then whatever, we start over.
Put the checkbox that you put when you upload. Does this have profanity?
Yes.
Is this episode going to be explicit?
No, it will not be explicit unless we get explicit.
And the CDC will remove it for commenting on vaccines.
They will? Oh my gosh, I hadn't read that yet. That would be freaking
They
amazing.
might asterisk it though.
Oh my gosh. So, let's see here. Solo recording. I think we're up and running here. It looks like we're good. I gotta make sure. All right, so awesome. We are here. This is Foster and Friends with your host, Brent Foster. We are here. I am here with Matt Zappazotti.
Greetings.
Greetings, compadre.
That's right.
Yeah, amigo. Vamonos. Let's get this thing on the road. So, Matt and I have been friends for, I don't know, 5 years or so. And I think I actually got to know you through our wives back in I don't know, 2016 or so. I think that's about the time frame. But I'm glad that you're able to join me here on the show. This interview is going to be very interesting and very dynamic. There's a lot of subject matter that you and I like to cover.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had many conversations about a lot of things, spiritual, mental, relational, and all of that type of stuff. So over the years, it's been a fascinating, growing relationship. And I'm just excited that you're here. So thank you for being here on the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay. So let's dive in. I got some questions for you that are just random, kind of shotgunny. One of them is, do you buy crypto? Do you own crypto?
No.
No. Why?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't buy a lot of things.
Okay.
So maybe it's not specifically crypto.
So do you think that, well, actually, let me ask you this question. What do you think about the space race? Space.
I actually, when our previous president announced we have a space force, I actually thought it was a joke. And they have a sweet logo. It looks like Star Trek. And I really thought it was a joke. And then they're like, no, we actually have an admiral, general, whatever he's called. And there we go. So
Captain Spock.
Yeah, I'm down. Go space. It was a giant economic boom in the 70s, 60s.
Yeah.
So whatever, if I could get on a ship and be gravity free for an hour and see the stars, sure, let's go.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, why not? So how do you think, do you think we're going to colonize the moon?
No.
No?
There's no cheese there.
What about Mars?
I think we'll go. I think we'll actually see it in our lifetime. I think we'll have some dudes land there and die. I mean,
true.
I don't mean it.
Well, yeah, you can't live very long on Mars based on what we
They might come back.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm down with space stuff. I love, I got little kids.
Yeah.
They're all about Star Wars. And they're like, Dad, how do they get from one planet to the next? I'm like, dude, it's like space travel. Like, light speed, duh.
Yeah.
They're like, oh. And they're like,
they buy it.
It's like real.
They buy it.
Well, light speed is real. We just don't know it yet.
So I love to follow up this question. We start out with crypto and we talk about space. And I'm like, well, how do you think we're going to pay for it? So let's say we base up on the moon. And that's the whole plan, is to base up on the moon. There's natural resources on the moon. Also, there's no atmospheric pressure. So it's a lot lighter to launch rockets from the moon to, say, Mars or to other places. Because you don't have to, it's kind of like, a pilot truck stop. You're just stopping along the way on your way to the next planet. And so I don't think you're going to pay for that using USD. The greenback isn't going to be it. It's going to be Bitcoin.
There's Bitcoin in the moon. I think we're mining.
Oh, are we mining Bitcoin in the moon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So.
And I think it gets -60 at night, or when the sun's not on it. And it's plus 180. I don't know.
Something like that.
So it's going to be a little challenging to get the mining trucks up there, but
right.
I'm down.
I'm down too.
You're not going to give me financial advice, but
no.
Maybe I need to go look into some Bitcoin.
Maybe so.
But maybe not.
maybe not because I don't give advice. Although, I've dabbled in it a little bit to just buy stuff to, who knows? I mean,
Everybody wants to be on the front line.
they do.
And
yeah.
the fact is, there's going to be losers. We have
Right.
hundreds. I don't know if we have a
There's
lot more than one.
There's millions of crypto. Like people, I could create a crypto.
So you have a lot of losers.
Right.
Going to be some winners.
Yeah. Foster and Friends Crypto.
You want to start one?
Let's do it.
Well,
Zap. We'll just call it Zap Crypto.
only if we can mine at the moon.
Yeah. I don't think that's how it works, but
Okay. We'll look into it.
we'll just check it out. Anyway, let's get on with this. So, shotgun questions. Are you vax or anti-vax or no comment?
I have been vaccinated from a lot of diseases. I went to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
They give you a lot of shots to make sure you can't even get in the country unless you have, I don't know, 12 different vaccines.
Yeah.
And that's good.
So like measles, mumps, rubella,
Yeah, and then like
tuberculosis, yellow fever, black plague, the bubonic plague.
I hope I didn't get
I don't even know what I'm saying, but
Yeah, there's a lot of scary things out there. I don't. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm vaxxed. I'm fully vaxxed, so we're good.
Good.
I'm coughing, but I don't have COVID.
You had a little experience with that.
I did. Yeah, last year at this time I felt like on my deathbed, so
I
I
saw
survived
you.
it. It was
I
bad.
saw you in the front yard. I thought you were gonna collapse, and then I'd have to call your wife to drag you in because I wasn't going to. But
Yeah.
you made it.
I made it. I made it back. You know,
I just brought you books and something to keep you occupied.
that's right. That pulse ox, it was helpful to see that I was above 90, so I was happy about that. Yeah, resting, heart rate at like 160 is not good. No, that's not good. So thankfully I survived, and I'm here today. It's been amazing. What color do you like? Red, blue, or neither?
Orange.
Orange.
Always.
Interesting. Orange is interesting. I like, my favorite color is black, like my daughter's, but purple is always a good one. It's the royal color of the gods. So I say gods,
Little
but
Thor
really,
there.
yeah, a little Thor action.
Okay.
Yeah, because we'll talk about ethos a little later. Is Jesus liar, lunatic, or Lord?
Lord.
Cool.
Gotta be.
Yeah. All right. So tell me a little bit about your background.
Mm.
Where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to school? Did you play sports? Did you not play sports?
I'm like a misplaced Midwesterner, which I guess is exactly where Midwesterners come from. My family's out East Coast.
Yep.
So born in Baltimore.
Yep.
My mom's family's from there. My dad's from Pennsylvania, and
Wow.
love the East Coast.
Cool.
Then we moved down to Texas. And,
Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Yeah, when I was a little kid. So I grew up in Houston, suburb though, not ranch hand cowboy.
That's right. Oh.
But really, it's Houston's amazing. But it
is.
is the hottest place that you want to live ever. I know there's some other.
Hotter than Hades.
You really, it's hot.
It's
So
hot. Yeah.
I got out of there and came up to college to play baseball in the Midwest, and that was wonderful. That was a great connection, and I've been here ever since.
Yeah.
Met my wife here.
Mm.
Our
Emily.
wives know each other, I
Yes.
guess, and Emily is her name. She's wonderful, and we have 4 little kids, 2 boys, 2 girls, and they are amazing.
Yeah.
I often wake up and think, how do we have 4 kids married this long? It's like a whole other universe goes on in the house. So one
Pure
is
chaos.
one's
Yeah,
just like
it's
me,
chaos.
and
Yeah.
so
Uh-huh.
it's like a mini me running around.
Uh-huh.
The girls, I think my baby pictures actually look more like
The girl.
the girl than Emily, but it's all good. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
They're amazing. I played sports in college. That's what brought me here. I was always a baseball dude.
Yeah.
I know we have
Me
that
too.
bond.
We do.
I actually, ironically, just played my first adult indoor soccer league last night game.
Yeah. How was that?
I got destroyed. I was goalie. I just got beat up.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
fun.
Yeah.
I
At least you weren't one of the dudes running back and forth. I mean, that's the one benefit of being a goalie.
Yeah, and baseball's just so chill.
It is very chill. I mean,
football and soccer are wonderful sports,
they are.
but you're doing a lot of effort for not a lot of points. And baseball, it's like hit a bomb or steal a base once in a while, but it's more my style.
Yes.
So
Yeah. It
I've
is.
always played baseball. Growing up, I hung it up, after college.
Right. Same here. Yeah. It's the fastest, slowest game on the planet.
Yeah.
There is a million things going on. There are a million things going on all at one time. But then you can have a picnic and a hot dog and pick some flowers and you can just totally chill out. I mean,
talk to the fans.
yeah, back in the old days, guys were smoking cigarettes and drinking beer in the dugout and stuff, and that's like way old day stuff. They don't do that
It's kind of a
anymore,
unique sport.
but yeah, sunflower seeds. I mean, yeah, we have that bond and it's amazing. It's amazing. It's a great sport. So
So I studied
Yeah.
baseball, but I had to get a degree,
uh-huh.
and that was in business.
That was not in beer. That was in business.
No drinking at my school.
Oh.
You should know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So no,
Hmm.
we were no at the
I don't know
time.
what that's like.
At the time, it was no rated R. No alcohol. No staying out after midnight. Yeah.
Wow.
It was a little strict.
Yeah. And my wife went to the same school.
It
Yeah.
was a good school. It's up in
It is a good
up
school.
by South Bend.
Yeah.
It's called Bethel.
Mm-hmm.
And all
It is good.
said and done.
Yeah.
Baseball, it's tough to play baseball in the cold, but great experience. Lifelong friends. Met my wife there. My best friends are still from Bethel, so a lot of good things happen in an environment like that.
Yeah.
Got to you're constantly finding out who you are, and as you grow up, and I still am, of course, but even though those things were strict and a little awkward at times,
Mm-hmm.
it lets you kind of have some boundaries.
Yeah.
And ironically, we talk about it in a little bit. I'm in a ministry now that's helping grown men,
Right.
and we give them boundaries. And ironically, that's actually what they're desiring. So
Yeah. We'll get into that. So when you say business degree, obviously you use it because I'm having you hear about entrepreneurship, business, and a lot of other things. But you're obviously applying that in this organization that you have kind of grown into, right, or have come into.
Yeah.
And so, why don't you tell us about Fight Club?
Yeah.
What is Fight Club? I know one rule, and that is we don't talk about Fight Club.
So says the movie.
That's the movie version.
Yeah.
This is like real life version. So we're not going to tell all the secrets of what Fight Club is.
Yeah, we can't tell.
We can't talk tell all the secrets. But I want you to share with me, how do you go from college life, after college, married, family stuff? Like, where did Fight Club happen for you? I know there are other people involved in that, but where does Fight Club originate from? If you could kind of share a little more about like what is it, and then roll into like how you got involved, and then where we're at today.
The quick version is
Yes.
14 years ago, Jim Brown out of Goshen, Indiana,
Yep.
started this program called Fight Club out of his church for men, by men, to reach men. And the
Love
concept is church is not appealing to men.
Amen to that. I mean, not to knock any churches, it just
Right.
Yeah,
We've grown up in a seeker-oriented church. If any of you listening have gone to any denomination of church in your adult male life, they don't target you. They just don't.
Right.
There are connections with pastors you may have. There are programs and events you can do that are men-oriented or bonding. Bible studies are great and all that stuff. But the bottom line is the statistics show women bring their kids, and if you have a great kids program, then the family comes, and so they just focus on that. Now, is that a blanket statement for all churches? No, but in general, Fight Club was started to appeal to men, because it's unfortunate that the masculine image of how God created us in a good, healthy masculine image, not a machismo, bravado, domineering way, is lacking. And we've been tainted by TV, movies that really put us guys as the pun of the joke.
a lot. I see it.
And,
It's all the time.
It starts
Unrelenting.
in our culture
Yeah.
very small.
Yep.
And then it becomes I mean, let's face it, the women really know what's going on. We're just kind of the dumb grunt making money or not making money, just kind of sitting on the couch.
True.
So
Exactly.
this Fight Club program was really to battle that. And it wasn't just to make church attractive. It was really to wake men up to what God's called them to do.
Mm.
And that's exactly what it did for me.
Yep.
So I went to
And me.
kind of a
And me.
conservative
Yeah,
college.
absolutely.
I grew up in the South in the Bible Belt. Family's been devoted to faith forever. And so you think like, well, this kid's got a great start. And I did, and I do. But what were you doing with it at 28 with a new family? Was there any fruit to show? And I thought that I was doing fine. Got invited to the program. It's kind of secretive, like you mentioned.
Yep.
They play off of the movie Fight Club, but
Yeah.
they actually use, if you've seen it, I don't recommend seeing the movie. It's not
Yeah.
great.
No, yeah.
But but if you've seen it, that they do say, don't talk about Fight Club. Well, we kind of reverse that and say, don't talk about Fight Club. Do something about fill in the blank.
Right.
So you want to be a better man? Do something about it.
Right.
You want to be a better dad? You want to quit drinking? Do you want to get in shape?
Exactly.
Um,
And I think everyone needs to get in shape.
yeah, mental health.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mental health's a big one.
So
Probably the biggest.
it's a holistic program.
Yes.
I got invited, declined twice, like every good Fight Clubber should. I'm just kidding.
Right. No, it's true.
And then you realize, like, okay, I've been asked now 3 times, what am I going to lose other than a little ego? And so I show up at midnight
Yeah.
in the middle of a field at a church parking lot with a giant bonfire and dude's telling you to do push-ups. And it
Yeah.
starts from there. And you're like, okay,
Yeah.
why? Doesn't matter, just do them, okay?
Yeah.
And then they walk you through the process and tell you what it's about. And it's all about connection. It's all about, just like I said, relating to men in an attractive way. But then now that they've got your attention,
Mm-hmm.
now it's let's be who God's called you to be and do something with your life that's off the couch, that
Mhm.
actually breathes life into your family.
Yes.
And what I was lacking was leadership.
Yeah.
So it's not a leadership program, but it's going to challenge the man to lead his family.
Right.
And I was not.
Exactly. And it changed your life.
Yeah. Finished the program, and I was really excited about it. And I was like, whew, okay, we're done with that. I can move on.
Right. I can go back to living the way that I was before, but
Well,
then you're a little bit better.
I'll take some of them with me.
Sure,
I-
yeah.
I mean, it's a tough program. It's
It
designed.
is.
It's designed to actually have real accountability where you can strike out.
Totally.
So you cannot graduate. It's a unique thing.
How many people graduate and how long are the rounds?
10 weeks long,
Okay. How
We
many
do it
rounds
twice
a
a
year?
year.
Twice a year.
and from start to finish, you're going to have a lot of extra assignments and challenges, we call them. And yeah, we only graduate about 50-60% of the guys
Each round.
that start.
And how many guys show up on each round? Typically.
We have like 300-400 in person show up at midnight
Yeah.
here in Indiana.
Yeah.
There's plenty of
Why midnight?
yeah, right.
Well, I know why midnight.
I get
It's
that a
because
lot.
nobody
You have no excuse.
you have
not
no
to be
excuse
there.
not to be there. I mean, what are you gonna do? Sleep
We always
on a
have,
Friday night?
if you're an EMT emergency fire
Yeah.
policeman,
If you're a frontliner,
great.
great. Okay, you get a pass. But if you're every other dude that shows up in corporate America or something, or a tradesman somewhere, you can show up there, suck it up for one day.
We want it to be inconvenient for you and not make the burden on your family.
Yes,
That's part of our
and
philosophy.
and that is the whole premise behind it. It's to make us better men.
So
Challenge us, hold us accountable. That was one of the things you were talking about earlier.
yeah, accountability. Man, as in men and women.
Yeah.
Man left alone, we will always choose ourselves.
Yes,
We're depraved,
we are.
unhealthy, selfish, being, and because of others that we get to know and love,
Yeah.
I'll choose others.
Right.
And without having someone in your life, sure, you may have your spouse, wonderful accountability partner. you may have a coworker,
Yeah.
wonderful accountability partner.
Yeah.
But do those people know everything? Not that it's all like a reveal kind of session, but do you tell your wife everything?
Yeah.
Do you tell your coworker everything? No. So who's going to fill that in? And a lot of times, unfortunately, dudes tend to Lone Ranger it.
Internalize it. Lone Ranger.
I got this.
Right.
I don't need help. We don't even ask for freaking directions. Of course, we're not going to ask for help.
Yeah. Why? Yeah. Exactly.
And so you build that up, and then all of a sudden a crisis happens, and you don't know what to do. And now you don't have anyone to turn to in the crisis, which is another big problem.
Yes.
And so Fight Club's really a brotherhood of men that say, not on my watch. I'm not going to stand by and let fill in the blank happen.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let my family fall apart. I'm not going to let someone come into my home and not be able to defend. So I'm going to be physically fit. I'm going to be mentally prepared for a family member falling on depression.
Yeah.
I'm going to be mentally prepared for getting a sickness that I can, withstand the trials. It doesn't mean that you're like some superhuman, but you've been trained.
Yes.
Is really what we.
Yeah, exactly. And the program equips men to address things in a different way than maybe they were taught by the world or by maybe a dysfunctional family or an environment like that. It opens your eyes to a lot of different things.
Well, what was your experience?
I knew you were going to ask.
Your first
So, like,
time.
my first time came after my wife and I, we lost our son, Cade, after a full-term pregnancy. 6 days out, he lived with us and passed away at home with my wife and I. So he had trisomy 13, and he had elements of different things physically that he wasn't going to survive. And we did not know until after he was born, about 4 hours after he was born, that what was even wrong. So they took him from us up to the NICU, and then it progressed from there. So that was in May of 2016 or 2015, sorry. And after that, it was a tragic event. It was devastating to my wife and I. It was very difficult, but yet we knew that Cade was in heaven, in a better place. But when you lose a child, your heart breaks. There's a lot that happens when that happens to both myself and then my wife, and kind of holding our family together. But from there, what people don't fully realize either is like 2 days later, my grandpa passed away. And it was when my dad was holding Cade in the NICU and found out that his dad had passed because they had flown from Oregon, emergency flight, to get to us so he could hold his firstborn grandson. And so all of this was just craziness. So I would say, I don't know, I think maybe a year went by and I was internally depressed. I was going through a very challenging time. And so what ended up happening is we were attending church and I kept hearing about this Fight Club. And I, like you, were like, no, I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it. I don't need that. I can handle this. And then finally, I don't know what it was that caused that to happen. I know my wife was egging me on and bugging me, and she wanted me to go. So I said, okay, I'll do it. And so, show up at midnight. I actually asked, that first time I showed up, I asked a buddy that lived down the street from me who had just lost his dad to suicide. I asked him to come along with me because it's like, why should I go by myself? And I know he's struggling with something and I'm struggling with something. And I know my problem was I don't know how to talk about stuff sometimes. So believe it or not, I'll just internalize it, right? I like to talk. I got the gift of gab. So, but what happened through Fight Club and going to Kickoff changed my life in a huge way. Brotherhood and accountability, I'd never experienced that level of accountability and brotherhood and just experiencing life with other men in a real, authentic, genuine way since college days when I was part of a team environment. So when you're part of a team, or maybe you're a military guy, or you're part of a first line defense crew like firemen and stuff like that, you have a natural brotherhood that you're doing life with, you're sharing life with, you're in close quarters with them. And then you let's say you're in a services sector like I am in an investment world or corporate America, you're not necessarily like talking to other dudes and doing life together. It's more like everybody's competing and jockeying for position all the time, and who's better than who, and nobody's going to be vulnerable and open and talk about life. And that was my experience. So when Fight Club happened, it changed my life in many ways to get me back on track to, gosh, there are other men dealing with loss, other men dealing with divorce. I had dealt with divorce in my life. I dealt with somebody who left the marriage for somebody else. There was a lot of stuff that I was actually holding on to. I didn't realize that I was, and I needed to deal with those things because it was manifesting itself in ways that were unhealthy and not good for my family and growing family, frankly, and not good for my faith and relationship with God. So I was pretty pissed off at God after I felt like he took my firstborn son. And so a lot of that anger was positioned between me being angry at God. So the spiritual aspect changed my life for the better. And now I'm on a much different path. Had I continued down that old path of struggling with the loss of my son. So thanks for asking me about that. Now I just talked for 10 minutes. Yeah, there you go.
That's good. Yeah. And it came at a time when you needed, like you said, the brotherhood, the camaraderie. And unfortunately, many of your listeners, like I experienced talking about guys, they've missed a part of that in their life, and they almost feel like it's too late.
Yeah.
And it's not.
It's never too late.
I'm 38, and I started this 8 years ago at like 31, and I'm friends with 50, 60-year-olds that are going through their stage of life.
Right.
And I wouldn't have experienced that. And now I have the opportunity to friend 25-year-olds that are just having their first kid. And so it's 18 and older, and I've got a dude in the program that's 78. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Your physical fitness does not matter. Your crap you bring in with your baggage does not matter. The fact is, we're all broken, and we all have trauma.
Yeah.
And some is happening now, like yours had just happened, and some has happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it's not about like some cry fest. Fight Club is a dude, cool guy event. And
they are cool. Yeah. I'll attest to that.
But
they are awesome.
We're real.
Yeah, real. That's great.
Yeah. So thanks for asking. That's kind of how I got into Fight Club.
Yeah.
And now it's,
now you're leading. Yeah. You're helping lead Fight Club because you help lead. There's lots of leaders, right?
Yeah, we have a lot.
What is your role right now? Yeah, what is your role?
Leaders. We just started a 501c3 called Fair Warrior. It's PHARE.
Yeah.
And Fair Warrior hosts the program Fight Club here in Central Indiana and beyond. We are actually in multiple countries.
What countries?
We've got Brazil, South America.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
If you want to go to South America, Northern Ireland's still closed for business, but they might come to see us. We've got guys in Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan. Just associated with our Fight Club, there's other Fight Clubs that are also all over the country and world, and we all try to run the same program.
Yeah.
But it's through their local church or through their local ministry.
Yeah.
We didn't tag ourselves to one church. We're one Fight Club in many churches.
I love that. Yeah.
And so it's a 25, 30 regions, as we call them, and we're up to 650 guys twice a year.
Wow.
So I'm now the executive director.
Yeah.
Technically. Of 501c3, but what it really means is I'm one of the two leaders. Bob Loy is my co-leader of our group, and then we have literally hundreds of other leaders to implement.
Right.
And some top guys, some coaches. We've got cornermen that coach our teams.
Yep.
We've got trainers. We have squad leaders. It's a whole hierarchy of guys that just say, I want more.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah. And so we literally create more for them.
Right.
Because they're asking.
Yeah. And it's free to guys who haven't done it. It's free.
Midnight and no money.
Midnight, no money. So like, what's the barrier?
Right?
Sleep.
Yeah. And
I don't know.
we have that principle because that's what it's done for us. But really, it's going to cost you a lot more than $50 or $100.
Sure.
It's going to cost you a lot more sweat equity,
Yeah.
mental capacity,
Yeah.
blood, sweat, and tears kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's not to like scare guys away. I think it's just the reality of if this program meant something to you and you like what we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
you can give.
Right.
And you can pay it forward next
Yes.
time and buy somebody else a ticket.
So where do people give?
Yeah, we're online and
Okay.
and in person at our events, of course. But yeah,
Yeah.
online. Our website is FC for Fight Club, FC414.club. And you can learn all about the program and see if it's in your community. We have a virtual group too if you're wanting to get online.
Yep.
That happened during the pandemic, of course.
And corporations can give too, like, right?
Yeah.
Businesses and
Yeah,
stuff.
we're
that-
fully open for business.
yeah,
We
that's
actually
awesome.
have some of our businesses
Sponsorships.
want to do sponsorship, marketing sponsorships.
Mhm.
We've got ways that you can sponsor your churchmen to go through. You can sponsor your workers. We have
Mhm.
3 businesses right here in Indy
Mm-hmm.
that they don't make it a requirement.
Yeah.
They basically are like, if you're a dude, you're going to go through Fight Club.
Right.
And that's creating their culture.
Right.
You don't have to continue to go through. You don't even have to graduate. They want you to experience what they've experienced.
Right. And because it's so impactful.
Yeah.
And it changes everyone that has attempted to go through it has changed for the better. I haven't heard of anybody that I've come across that had a negative experience.
Oh, they're
Right?
out there. Don't.
I mean,
you know.
me personally, I just haven't. I'm just saying they're out there. Some people might say, "Well, this isn't for me." Well,
Yeah.
fine, that's cool. There's other places you can go, but
Mhm.
but I guess I'm a big advocate.
Well, thank
Obviously.
you.
Yeah, I love the program. I've been through, I don't know, 6 rounds, and graduated 5, and failed in the last one.
Mm.
And what's interesting about it is, I say failed. It's actually not failure. I just get harder on myself,
Hmm.
which is interesting.
It's a whole nother podcast.
It's a whole nother, like we've got to talk about all this stuff. And I want Bob to come on, and he's agreed to do that here in the coming year to talk a little bit about Fight Club and all,
Leadership development.
yeah, I can ask him. Oh yeah, and he's excellent at it. So it'll be great for listeners to listen to what Bob has to say and get some advice and counseling from him, because we can always grow and get better. So let's see. I've got many other questions for you, but one of them is,
Where do you want to go?
I don't know. I want to go down whatever path this leads. So here's who's been your greatest inspiration?
There's so many.
Yeah.
Inspiration, you might pie in the sky that and find a celebrity or someone that like, you really look up to, I don't know, Popeye or something. But, my wife, Emily,
Yeah.
and is my inspiration for day.
Amen.
Jesus
That's good.
is why I do what I do for, but I think, you can point to your parents, your grandparents, and just people that have been role models in your life, but yeah, so many out there. I've got a great bullpen. How about that?
I love that. Yeah. When you mentioned bullpen, of course, I'm full of baseball analogies and stuff. So I would highly recommend anybody who's maybe interested in Fight Club and what we've talked about literally today to take a swing, man. If you go, give it a shot, get up to the plate and take a swing. If you never swing the bat, you don't know you'll never get a hit for one, but then you don't know what's going to happen in and through your life and through the life of others in your life. So it's just, some people get kind of hung up on that, but just take a swing. And if you strike out, you strike out. There's always another at bat. And frankly, if you get a hit 3 out of 10 times, you're a Hall of Famer. So that means you strike out or you fail 7 out of 10 times. And I don't know about you, but I want to be a Hall of Famer. So
Try teaching that to a 10-year-old.
Yeah, that's tough because especially if you're the parent, they don't tend to listen. Because I used to do that. I know everything, Dad.
Right.
So, you actually have some areas outside of Fight Club, because I know you. I can say this. Matt is a serial entrepreneur.
I think you are too.
I am not. I have the personality type of a librarian. So, just kidding. What am I doing here? I'm just talking and blabbing, and you were listening. So I must be doing something right.
Serial entrepreneur is a fun thing.
There's challenges to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Bearded Warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bearded Warrior.
What is that?
Well, I have a beard.
So do I.
You can't see.
Yeah, Matt's beard is better and more beautiful than my beard.
Oh,
so,
well.
yeah.
We about 7 years I've had this beard, and
wow, that's an old beard.
I just started putting on beard oil. Apparently, got a hipster craze like 4 years ago with our culture and haircuts. And
is it hipster or is it lumberjack?
I don't know.
It's hipster.
So they're like, hey, you use beard oil? I'm like, no, should I? I don't know. I've got these beard things, right?
Right.
And so I was like, okay, I'll buy some and try it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't good. Like,
Yeah.
It smelled funny.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
Oily.
It was greasy.
Greasy.
And and I was just like, okay, well, so I stopped using it. Well, then my buddy in Fight Club, Jason Johnson, his wife sells oils.
Yeah.
And was like, oh, we'll make you some real beard oil. I was like, okay.
What?
Yeah. So he brings it over. He whips some up in his, I don't know, basement or something, and brings it over for a Christmas gift. And I was like, this smells amazing.
Yeah.
And he's like, and it's healthy for your skin.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm sold.
Done.
Sign me up.
So am I.
So for like 2 years, I did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I'm going to create my own beard oil. And I'm all about the warrior and the ethos of a warrior.
Yeah.
So I was like, the bearded warrior.
I love that.
And so
That's how you came up with the name.
I have a brand.
And then what did you do? Like as an entrepreneur, you're like, well,
I have to have a website.
you have to have a website.
I have to have a logo.
And you have to have a structure of a business.
So I started that.
Yeah, Secretary of State.
No worries. Get rolling and then create a bunch of oil scents.
Yeah.
And then I did nothing.
And then you waited.
And
you did nothing.
I sold like $200 worth of oil. I love it. I use it every day. And I realized like this is a primed and ready to go little business.
Yeah.
And now some of you business men and women can relate to this.
Yeah.
Now you actually have to go do it. So I was in sales.
Really? You actually have to do it.
I was in sales for 3 years with no network. And I was trying so hard to get this new side note. Okay, Brent, sorry.
No. Tangents are my favorite thing because it's so entertaining.
To get this big sale of a hospital going in. And it was going to be, for me, my biggest sale ever. It was going to be about $500,000 of product. And I couldn't get in the door. Couldn't get the meeting. That everyone said, oh, Jeff, he'll hook you up. Get hold of Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff wouldn't take my calls.
Yeah.
I started going to Jeff's secretary. I started going to Jeff's coworkers. Could never get in. So I gave up.
Yeah.
And I see the grounds being laid. They're moving dirt. I'm like, well, that sale's gone. I'm going to, forget it. Then I get a call from Jeff, and he's like, oh, yeah, you guys are like my preferred vendor. So, just come in and you got the sale. I'm like, what?
What?
So I get this amazing opportunity to sell.
Yeah.
I'm 1 year into sales.
Yeah.
$600,000 contract over a year and a half.
Yeah.
And it's commission based. I'm newly married. This
Yeah.
is wonderful.
Beautiful.
And then we close the deal.
Yeah.
And my boss says something profound, and we drive away from signing the deal, and he says, well, now you actually have to go do it. Now the hard part starts. And I was like, gosh dang it, that's a lot of freaking work.
It is a lot of work.
So
and what was the payout? Like what was the value in all that work? What did you learn? Because
that small business
Okay.
did not have the ability to just push go. It
in
was
scale.
yeah, in
Like,
scale.
yeah.
So I wound up doing the project managing. I was
Yes.
the engineer. My name was on the line, so I'm not going to let it fail. And I
Right.
realized like I'm working for somebody else,
Yes.
making a very low commission on an amazing opportunity project, and all that's fine, and you build reputation and sales, and the next one will come. But it was just that realization, like I'm not gonna build somebody else's tower. And the entrepreneur spirit's been with me forever. I
Yeah.
had my own lawn business, I had my own cleaning business.
See, I didn't know those two things.
I've
That's interesting.
always done this stuff. Like if you want something, just go do it.
Right.
And but I always have to have a logo first. That's number one for me.
A logo and a brand, and then
That's how it
just kind of-
starts.
yeah. Yeah.
So Bearded Warrior
Interesting.
exists. You can
Yeah.
go find us on the web, and I will mail you some beard oils. But
And I've personally had these beard oils, and I really do like them. So I'm gonna plug
thanks.
for Bearded Warrior.
And maybe it'll
So-
turn back on, and I'll pursue it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes for me, I have to see. I know you're a creative,
Mm-hmm.
and you actually can, if they don't know, you actually have real creative skills of like art and drawing and music and things. But mine are if you can just think of something and then get your hands dirty in
Yes.
a way. We like woodworking.
Yes, we
I
do.
want to build something. I want to see fruit. And so some of it is I don't start new businesses like the Bearded Warrior all the time, but some of it is like I bet you can. And honestly, that kind of plays back to Fight Club. Like
Right.
I bet you can't go 10 weeks without drinking a drop of alcohol.
Yeah.
And guys are like, yeah, I can't. Like,
Yeah.
has
just-
anybody ever asked you?
right.
And just that little question will make a dude stop drinking for 10 weeks.
Right.
It's
Like cold turkey stop.
Yeah,
Like not
it's
even like phase into it.
It's hard.
Well, what's crazy is when that question was asked of me during Fight Club is one of the guidelines, one of the rules that you have to adhere to. Otherwise, you give yourself a strike. It's based on an honor system. But I was like, I talked to Norm, like, I don't know if I've ever gone 10 weeks ever since I left home at 18 without taking a drink of alcohol. Of something that had alcohol in it. And it just was like 10 weeks. That's crazy. And maybe some people that's not a problem.
Right.
But like I would say for the majority of everybody, it's like have you ever analyzed your own life to think over a 10-week period? Because 10 weeks incorporates holidays, incorporates like events, incorporates a lot of football season, incorporates a lot of stuff. It's like, man, I don't know if I ever have. And so doing that for the first time, oh man, it was really challenging. Really challenging. So yeah, it helped. It helped. So I didn't mean to digress, but
Yeah, so
I wanted to comment on that.
That's
It's huge.
wonderful.
It
And
helped me out a lot.
and part of the entrepreneurial, what's next? What
Yeah.
are you going to create? I think
Yep.
I'm still learning all this stuff, but I love the concept that there are creators
Mhm.
and there are certain people that can take it from step one to step two, and there are different people that are ready to really operate and implement. And just knowing about yourself, who you are in that play, will really help you not get frustrated when if you're the operator and they're asking you to create, it's just a grind.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
It's like forced.
Yeah.
Like there's gifts, talents, and abilities for all of us, and some people have the gift to organize and be methodical, and this is the process, the workflow, the operations, and others of us have different gifts that are creative and kind of we need some help with accountability and staying on task, kind of like we're doing now.
Well, I'll tell you, you got a question here that just kind of leads into that.
Yeah.
I mean, teamwork makes the dream work. I guess the part of being an entrepreneur that's so fun is doing it on your own because there ain't nobody to tell you what to do.
Right.
But it doesn't go far, and we all know the cliche or the African mantras. If you want to go fast, go by yourself, but if you want to go far, go with others. And that's really what I've learned through this Fight Club journey, 7 years.
Yeah.
I cannot do what we do by myself, period. So it's not even
Yeah.
hard,
Right.
but sometimes I want to.
Yeah.
Sometimes because I am that entrepreneur creative, it's like, dude, I got an idea. I got this.
Yeah.
I trust myself.
Right.
So I don't need your approval.
Yeah.
And that is wonderful trait, but
Mhm.
it's also a roadblock to you and others.
Right.
So letting go, honestly, of the
Mhm.
things that I'm leading
Mm-hmm.
is the hardest thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to have a team around you
Yeah.
that you trust to pick it up.
You
And so
absolutely do.
it's like talking to myself while we're talking to entrepreneurs, or people that want to start something. But it's like constant reminders. You have to trust your team, and if you don't, get another team. Period.
Exactly. Or if you have somebody on your team that's a cancer that is going the wrong direction, they either have to get it going in the right direction, or you have to cut them out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of like Tom Brady isn't Tom Brady and all the success that he has by himself.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's got to have a team around him to do it. And Michael Jordan isn't Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
They both think they can do it on their own, but they were better together, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, there's just all these examples, and I use sports analogies because I'm a sports guy. I know you're a sports guy, and most people can relate to sports. But, you know, I don't know about you, but in academia, when I was studying studying like advanced derivatives in math, down at Southern Arkansas University, those 11 o'clock at night library study sessions with 4 or 5 other dudes that were way smarter than me, but we were all working on solving for 5 unknowns on the Black-Scholes option pricing model, and we had to do it to pass the class. That was like a team environment where when one of us would fail, we would correct each other on our math. And it was like a 5-page formula. We had to prove it. And it's just like, no, there's a calculator in 2 seconds that'll do this, but no, we've got to sit here and go through it. That I think back to that. That's a non-sports related analogy, and Fight Club is like that too, where there is a fabric and a brotherhood that you're a part of. And entrepreneurs, a lot of times, we do think we can do it on our own. Mm-hmm. And I love that analogy of you can go fast, but you can't go very far.
Yeah.
You need other people to help you along the way. That's very interesting. I love that.
So it's almost like taking a weakness and turning it into a strength.
Right.
And there's
strengths out of control or weaknesses, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you're a serial entrepreneur. It's 24/7, it's 365, but you're also a dad, a father, a friend, a brother, and you have a lot of wisdom and knowledge to share with the world. And so I'm really glad that you were able to come in today and talk to us about it. Again, just to circle back, Fight Club, what's the website?
FC414.club.
Okay.
There's a giving link on there. You can learn about our program,
Mm-hmm.
our 501c3 that runs that. It's called Fair Warrior, PHARE, which is for purpose, humility, accountability, respect, and excellence, which we try to put in everything we do.
When's the next kickoff?
March. So if you're listening to this here, it's late 2021.
Yep.
So March 2022 here in Central Indiana and online will kick off. But we do every spring and every fall.
Okay.
And then we also have leadership training,
Mm-hmm.
leadership development for Fight Club, but we're also producing leadership development in general. So just as leadership courses and some lesson learned from our how to lead teams, how to lead small groups, how to engage with different personalities, and what's stemmed out of a men's program that meets at midnight is currently 2-3 programs with, like I said, 600 around 1,200 a year. But we have over 2,000 graduates of our program in 7 years.
Yeah.
And we
That's
have
awesome,
countless life change that's come out of it. Marriages saved from the brink of divorce, families restored, broken relationships with children, adult children,
Baptisms,
financial reconciliation.
Yeah.
Stories of guys that were lost in purpose,
Right.
depressed.
Yeah. Drug addiction.
Drug-
I mean,
yeah.
just countless stories of that.
Yeah. And so
Mental
you're like,
health.
oh, that's not me, man. You know, I'm not off the cliff. I have a good marriage. You know, I love my wife.
I've got a good job. Things are pretty
Sure.
comfortable.
Well, we're all about making you uncomfortable.
Right.
So if those aren't you, those ones that we've spoken of, the idea is you can't grow unless you're uncomfortable.
Right.
You're gonna just
Mhm.
sit and be comfortable in where you're at, and you know, if you're not growing, you're dying. So part of my ethos kind of goes with there's a everyone wants to be known. Every
Yes.
person listening to this podcast.
That's
wants to be
right.
known. If you just want to be known by one person and you have that person in your life, great. That person will let you down.
That's right.
So everyone wants to be known, and we actually have a God that sent His Son to know us.
Yeah.
And that guy's Jesus.
That's
And
right.
He invited us into life. And what really gets me in my ethos is every man wants to be known to be dangerous.
Mm.
And if you're not dangerous and you're
Mm.
listening to this podcast,
Yeah,
it makes you uncomfortable.
it does.
And so I am not a jiu-jitsu black belt, Fight Club, midnight dude that can beat you up. But I know that God made me dangerous in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't experience the full life
Mm-hmm.
as a man in that,
Mm-hmm.
there's some questions that need to be answered
Mm-hmm.
and that you ask yourself. And so some of this is, how do I, in this journey of life, like just my ethos and how I live, how do I become this humble warrior?
Mm.
And that honestly goes beyond men.
It does. Yeah, I know.
There's a warrior class in women that they don't tap into.
That's right.
But as men, we are built to be warriors.
That's right.
And so how do I be a warrior and yet be humble? And that's really what it comes down to for me.
I love it. It's awesome, man. I'm glad you got to share, and I'm glad you got to share what Fight Club's all about and what you're doing and what you're about. And so I encourage you in the coming years, we'll continue to have a dialogue around Fight Club, around Fair Warrior, and other things, entrepreneurial, bearded warrior, maybe even something else that comes about that God puts on your heart to do, and
Keep creating.
and Jesus and God creates us to do those types of things. It's awesome. So with that, we'll just wrap it up. But I want to thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you. It's been wonderful here at Foster and Friends.
Foster and Friends.
I love it. Is it English?
It-
British.
I haven't done that. The Foster. It's not French. It's the Fostier
Oh.
and Friends. But no, it's actually an English last name.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
yeah.
English last name. So
I want a cup of tea next time I
a
come.
cup of tea. I prefer
Depends on what time we meet.
Yeah.
If we're in Fight Club, a cup of tea.
A cup of tea.
If we're out of Fight Club,
Then we can have bourbon.
give me a brew.
Yeah, brew, bourbon and brew, whatever. Well, awesome, dude. Thanks. All right, with that, we're done. Okay, I'll stop it. There we go. That was fun, dude.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you so much.
Yeah,
that was just a nice, chill roll, man.
That was good.